Welcome to this explainer. I am genuinely thrilled to share this with you today because we're popping the hood on one of Earth's most recognizable brands. You see them on almost every corner, you know the iconic logo by heart, but the machine powering it all beneath the surface, it's absolutely fascinating.
Burgers, fries, coffee. Simple, right? That's the obvious assumption literally everyone makes. You go in, you buy a quick, cheap meal, and you leave. Just a simple fast food transaction.
But we're talking about a transaction happening at a truly mind-boggling scale. Over 44,000 locations worldwide. Seriously, just think about the logistical nightmare of running that many kitchens.
And they aren't clustered in just one corner of the globe either. They span across more than 100 countries. It's a relentless, global footprint touching almost every single culture on the planet.
Okay, let's dive into this, because is that really the full story? No way! Behind every single Big Mac and glowing golden arch is a business model built around something far more valuable than food. To really get this, we have to look below the tip of the iceberg. This entire business isn't actually built on beef or potatoes. It's built on land.
Let's rewind to the early days for a second. Opening and managing thousands of restaurants entirely in-house, that would have been incredibly expensive and honestly hugely risky. So McDonald's chose a much smarter, highly scalable path: franchising. Instead of running every kitchen, they let independent business owners, franchisees, operate under their famous name.
Notice how perfectly this genius division of labor breaks down. The franchisee invests their own money, hires the staff, and handles the intense daily pressure of dealing with customers. They take on all that localized risk. Meanwhile, McDonald's corporate focuses entirely on the macro picture. They provide the trusted brand, the technology, the global supply chain, and crucially, the location strategy.
And this division of labor isn't just a small side project. Today, almost 95% of McDonald's restaurants worldwide are run by those independent local business owners. The actual day-to-day burger flipping is incredibly decentralized.
But here is where most people completely misunderstand the whole operation. They assume McDonald's simply makes money by taking a small cut from those burger sales. Actually, scratch that, it's way more complex. Here is the massive reality beneath the surface. In many of its biggest markets, McDonald's is actually a real estate business. They control the physical location itself. They buy the land, they own the building, or they secure the long-term lease. The franchisee just operates the restaurant on that exact property.
So, the crucial point is, the franchisee isn't just paying to use the M logo. They often pay rent directly to McDonald's, plus royalties based on sales and initial franchisee fees. It creates this powerful, locked-in arrangement. The franchisee is highly motivated to sell more food, and McDonald's benefits immensely because more sales mean more royalties, more rent, and value flowing straight to the top.
Think about this dynamic for a minute. The burger gets people through the door, sure, but the location, the actual physical ground the restaurant sits on, is what creates long-term power. I want you to mentally picture exactly where you usually see your local McDonald's. Think about your neighborhood or your daily commute. Where is it?
Chances are, it sits right at a busy intersection, or maybe right off a major highway exit, near a school, or inside a bustling shopping center. McDonald's doesn't choose its real estate by throwing darts at a map. These are prime, highly calculated spots located exactly where millions of people naturally pass by every single day.
Let's see how this builds. Watch how this strategically placed real estate relentlessly captures foot traffic all day long. A good location stays valuable for decades because it becomes an inescapable part of a daily routine. First, commuters swing by for morning coffee. Then, local office workers grab a quick lunch. By evening, it's easy family meals. And finally, late-night drive-thrus. It's a continuous cycle of capturing attention. It becomes familiar, and in business, convenience is incredibly profitable.
Consumer tastes evolve over time, right? The menu introduces flashy new items, retires old ones, and brings back the McRib whenever it feels like it. But the location, it just keeps working. The compounding value of a highly convenient piece of real estate never goes out of style. The physical asset generates value regardless of what kind of new sauce they put on a sandwich.
And today, they are literally supercharging those physical locations. Look at the digital shift happening across the entire ecosystem. We're talking mobile ordering, delivery integrations, and personalized loyalty offers pinging your phone. This digital machine connects the whole system. It makes the drive-thru faster and ensures customers return more often. And when they return more often, that carefully selected physical dirt they are standing on becomes even more incredibly valuable.
And this brilliantly illustrates the end result of all these perfectly calibrated moving parts. $139 billion. In 2025, McDonald's reported over $139 billion in global system-wide sales. That is enough money to make your head spin, and I promise you that is not simply the power of selling cheap burgers.
It's the power of a system built and refined over decades. McDonald's turned a fast food joint into a finely tuned global machine. They built an empire not by selling the most gourmet food, but by turning every single location into a connected, highly valuable asset. The franchisee runs the kitchen, the burger brings you through the door, but the strategically controlled real estate gives the business its undeniable, lasting strength.
So what does this all mean? Well, it begs the ultimate question. The next time you drive past those glowing golden arches, ask yourself, are you just looking at a sign for burgers and fries? Or are you actually looking at one of the most brilliant, deeply entrenched real estate empires ever created? I'll need you to think about that. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope it gave you a whole new perspective, and I'll catch you in the next one.